Hello and welcome back for another edition of Fisher Football Focus. I'm your host, James Bailey. It was 0-4 versus 4-0 this past Saturday in Growney Stadium. Alfred came to St. John Fisher on a 14-game regular season win streak. Their most recent regular season loss? That's right, it was to the Cardinals here in Growney, the regular season closer in 2015. Could the Cardinals repeat their past successes and get back into the win column for the first time in 2017? It all started well for the Cardinals. They would drive the length of the field in the game's opening drive and get on the board thanks to a Will Blake touchdown from Jonathan Letta. Alfred would drive right down the field on their opening possession to tie it at 7 thanks to running back Nas Smith. And Alfred's next drive, it's Smith again, charging through the middle of the Fisher defense for a 35-yard Saxon touchdown. Before the half, Alfred extended its lead to 2 scores. Casey Boston to Jaden Gavidia, 25 yards, 21-7 Saxons. Fisher came out strong in the third. James Chambers burst off tackle for a 14-yard touchdown to bring the Cardinals to within a score. Then came the efforts of the Fisher defense. Boston, hit from behind by Will Reichert, fumbles, recovered by Fisher freshman Lamar Peters. The Cardinal offense would go 3 and out, but the D would answer the call again. With Boston trying to find the end zone, DeMar Nelson says nope, his second interception of the day. This time Fisher's offense would drive into the red zone. 3rd down and 9, Letta takes the snap, drops back, and he hits Will Kuhn in the end zone? No! Dropped! That would bring up 4th down, the Cardinals' last chance. Letta drops back, same play, looks for Kuhn again, and this time he's picked. Eric Graham secures the ball and the win for the Saxons. Alfred slipped away from Fisher with a 21-14 win. They improved to 5-0 in the season and 15th in the country in the latest national polls. Fisher remains winless, but their luck could change next week. The Cardinals are 15-1 all-time against Utica. Up next, senior linebacker Evan Majewski will be by to discuss Saturday, so keep it here.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it.
It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Welcome back, joined now by senior linebacker Evan Majewski, and happy to have you on, Evan.
Thanks, I'm happy to be on.
So Alfred's rushing attack was as advertised. They were averaging over 200 yards per game coming into Saturday, and they went out, ended up with 284 yards on the ground. What were they doing out there that was tough for you guys to stop?
They gave us a lot of different looks. They lined up with a lot of different personnels, used a ton of different guys that we haven't seen always. So we knew they were going to do that, and we tried to keep it simple as we approach that. But obviously, we wish we could have done some things differently. So.
Yeah, and they had so many different options. You mentioned people that they hadn't shown. Casey Boston started at quarterback for him, definitely much more of a rushing threat than their typical starter, Bryce Morrison, and kind of had the 3 big options when you had Boston, kind of the slippery quarterback. You had Fuentes, the smaller, quick scat back, and then you had Nas Smith, kind of the more power back. So, kind of all the different dynamics. How difficult was it when they'd line up and they'd have 3 different options that they could go to on the ground in any one given play?
Yeah, well, coming in with the quarterback situation, it was a little tough. We didn't know which way they were going to go, and obviously Boston brought a lot on the ground. Malik was a little guy. He could find the little holes. Even if you're gapped up, he'd still, find a little crease somewhere. And then obviously 27 Smith, he was a good player. He took a lot of guys to bring him down a lot of times. So definitely a bunch of different looks they gave us.
Yeah, and that wildcat formation, you kind of had that little fad, a few years ago. You don't see a lot of teams use that as much now. That kind of, had they shown that in tape? Was that something you were expecting?
Yeah, they did. They gave us. They showed a lot of wildcat, and they ended up giving us a lot of wildcat. They had a lot of big dudes out there at times, and I was playing outside linebacker a lot of the time. So not things that I'm always asked to do, but I try to do it to my best of my ability, and wish we could have done a couple things differently. So.
Yeah, and when you got in the second half, you guys gained a lot of momentum. You shut out Alfred in the second half, forced 3 turnovers. Excuse me. Was there anything that happened in the locker room? Did you guys change anything, or was it just kind of got that fresh start?
Definitely. At halftime, we brought a lot more energy in the second half. we thought we were a little flat in the first half. We were just making a few mistakes mentally and physically as well. So we definitely we focused it in at halftime. We brought out a lot more energy and ended up playing a lot better ball in the second half. So.
Yeah, and you had Dave Carroll back, you know, the senior captain. He missed the Hartwick game. So, you know, yourself a senior too. You kind of had that chemistry in that linebacker core of having a lot of veterans. So was it nice having everyone back together out there? Yeah,
definitely. It's easier when everybody is on the same page, and you've been playing together. You know what guys are going to do sometimes and what they're not going to do sometimes. So definitely the chemistry will help, and having Dave out there was big for us.
So you're now at a place that I don't think anyone would have expected a couple months ago, 0-5, which is such a rarity in the program. I mean, it hasn't happened since the year 2000. So since you've been in the program, the longest streak you've had is back-to-back losses, 2 in a row. So is it kind of made it harder to recover since it's such an unprecedented thing? You guys aren't used to being in this situation?
Yeah, definitely. Nobody likes losing, obviously. We wish we could go back and get a couple games back. But we're close. We're looking forward. We know we're real close, and right now we're focused on Utica moving forward. So that's what we're focused on.
And I asked this to Nelson Burke last week, but you know, have you ever had any like sort of situation in the past where you know, a past sports team when you were on like a streak like this? You know, so you kind of have like a similar experience, or?
I've had it before back in JV football. I remember even on the varsity level, we didn't make the playoffs the one year, but. It's tough. It's tough to deal with, but you learn from it and you move forward, and I think that's what's most important.
So down the stretch of previous season, you guys used to be, you know, you guys are used to being the ones out there competing for the Empire 8 title, coming down the stretch. You know, now it's kind of a different situation where you're gonna have to go out there and be the underdog every week, play the spoiler. Is it a different mentality you go into games when you're playing that role instead of the favorite?
Personally, for me, it's not too different. I like to take every opportunity I get on the field and approach it a pretty similar way. I like to stay locked in and do what I got to do each and every week. So I think as a team, if we have that mentality, then we'll be good moving forward, I think so.
They kind of speak to the parity of the Empire 8 conference that, you know, you can have teams like yourself and your next opponent, Utica, who you know have been strong the past several years, and now you guys are down a little bit and stuff like that. Just kind of talking about the strength of the conference, that, you know, every team has a chance to be great at any given season. Yeah,
you can't take any weeks off. You got to bring it each and every week, and each and every day at practice it really starts. So if you're not there, if you check out for, you know, a few reps, or, you know, you're not there the whole week, it'll be known on Saturday. So you got to bring it each and every week, because every team, like you said, has a chance to win this conference.
So we mentioned next week's opponent, Utica. They're one of the 2 teams in the Empire you guys actually lost to last year, the 23-6 game. They're currently 2-3 right now in a pretty similar situation to you. They also lost Selford and Brockport, and they squeezed out a tight win against Hartwick. So if you kind of see Utica as a similar team to you, you know, given that you guys are in similar situations. Yeah, definitely losing to them last year. I personally want to get one back from them. So. Like I said, we try not to approach it too differently. I hope that as a team we just stay focused, and we're going to give it all that we have this week, and put a good game together on Saturday. So. Yeah, and they're similar to some of the past Empire 8 opponents that are giving you a little bit of trouble in that they're great on the ground. Last year they racked up 270 rushing yards. Not quite as great this year. They're only averaging 144 per game, but you see that, you know, with the, you know, past couple of Empire 8 games, you've proven that. You know, you can be a little vulnerable on the ground. Do you think that's where they're going to try to attack you guys again? Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't blame them for doing so, and I hope, I think moving forward, we got to bring it for four quarters, because I think we've all seen that we can stop the run at times. We can play real good defense. So, unlike last week, I hope we can bring it for 4 quarters and really physically bring it and mentally stay in the game. So. Yeah, it's going to be a Saturday night game under the lights. Yeah. You know, you guys. Not playing those afternoon games is going to be a little bit more of the Courage Bowl. You know, Courage Bowl usually your only night game of the year. Now you're playing this one under the lights at Groundy too. You think that the atmosphere might help you guys out a little bit on Saturday? Yeah, I think so. We like playing in those high pressure situations, I think, as a program even. So I think we'll take the opportunity. Definitely, everybody likes playing at night. Those are fun games to play in, and I hope we take advantage of it. So. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Evan. Thank you. Good luck this weekend. Thanks. All right. Well, that's our show for the week. Be sure to come back next week after the Cardinals take on the Utica Pioneers. For Cardinal Television, I'm James Bailey. Catch you next time.